What's good, everyone? Welcome back to a brand new Amazon video. In today's video, I'm obviously talking about why I hate VTO. Now, I hate VTO, yeah. I hate VTO now. I'll just be 100% honest with you guys. I hate VTO right now. I'm going to get into some reasons why, but first off, I'll say, of course, if anyone doesn't know, if anyone's at a site that's really busy right now, most sites aren't like this. I talked about this in my last video where I talked about the layoffs at Amazon right now. It's very slow in so many areas of the country, not only at Amazon, but just at other jobs in general. It is slow right now because business needs are not high. The economy is at a very, very low point. And because of that, there is a lot of VTO. There is VTO like crazy. For my site, last week, so I'm filming this video on a Tuesday, but last week, like on Thursday, they released they released VTO for this entire week, this current week already on a Thursday of last week. So we had Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday worth of VTO released like 6 days, and not 6 days, like 4 days in advance. And that was crazy. That like never happens pretty much ever. And when that does happen, you know it is extremely slow. And this not only happened at my site, but people in my Discord are sending their site's VTO list. And it's the same thing where there's just so much VTO and they're dropping it they're dropping it weeks in advance, and they're dropping multiple at a time. And even if you do go in and don't take that VTO, they're still offering mid-shift every single day, like multiple days per week. Like right now where I work, we're going in, we're having pre-shift VTO like 3 or 4 times. So they're releasing 4 pre-shift VTOs for one single shift. We go in, sometimes the VTO is taken, most of the time it's not anymore, just because there's so many spaces available. Once you go in, they send VTO like every 2 hours or every hour and a half. They'll send a new VTO, and there's pretty much so many options to leave work at the moment, and it's bizarre. Honestly, it is crazy how slow it is. I'm not too surprised. This happened last year as well. When peak last year ended like around the middle of February, almost late February. And as soon as peak ended, this is exactly what happened last year as well. It died in February, and we were getting spammed VTO. And that carried on up until I don't even fully remember. It carried on up until the summer. During the summer, we were still getting VTO every single day, but this heavy VTO, it was not like that. In the summer, it was like probably up until summer that this lasted, though. The entirety of spring pretty much was dead at Amazon. And yeah, but that's just I kind of wanted to discuss what's happening with Amazon right now. If you don't work here, or if you work at a busier site, this is what's happening at most sites. And I'm going to be talking about why I hate VTO. I've been mostly positive about VTO in the past, and I've talked about how if there's VTO, I tend to take it just for a mental rest, and just it's nice to have a mental rest sometimes. Sometimes if you've worked your ass off, it is nice, don't get me wrong, to have a little bit of a break. But I hate VTO now. I went from really, really enjoying it to hating it. And 100% most of that is my fault. I'll take full responsibility. Most of that definitely is my fault. It is definitely my fault, the reason that I hate VTO now. But I guess this isn't a list video, but I'll give 3 reasons why I don't like VTO. And the first one is definitely because it's addicting. And I've seen, when I live streamed last Sunday, I saw somebody say that they found VTO really addicting, and that they can't stop taking it, that it's like crack, and that they're taking it every single time they get the chance because it is just so addicting. Even though it is expensive, it is addicting. They said that, and I was like, I totally agree. I can relate. If you're in my Discord, you'll already know this, but my name in my Discord is C11, and then it's a little dash, and it says VTO addict next to it. I stole that from one of my other Discord moderators, Voice Raider, but it is just that it is addicting. It is so easy to get addicted to VTO. It's so easy to just not go into work. If you're not really passionate about Amazon, which I'm sure most of you who are watching this video aren't. I know I'm not. I'm not super passionate about my job there. It doesn't feel creatively fulfilling. It doesn't feel like I'm really getting stuff done when I'm there. Other than supporting my YouTube career, it doesn't really feel that way. And just overall, I am not in love with Amazon. I don't love Amazon. I'm not passionate about it. It's not my dream job, none of that. So because of that, it feels nice to get a break every now and then, and just to, especially when I do YouTube videos, when I'm in the grind how I am now and how I was a few months ago, it's nice to take off at Amazon and then go do YouTube work, or just go do something you're more passionate about, go focus on your hobbies, or even just relax and have a free day and just like play video games or something like that. Like, it is so easy to become addicted to it, especially when it's being offered as much as it is right now. It is so easy to just continue to take it week after week, day after day. Like, it is so simple. But like, with that being said, that's very, very irresponsible. And I'll get onto irresponsibility on my last one, because I do have a lot to say about that. But yeah, it's addicting, and that's one reason that I really hate VTO. I don't like things that are addicting. Addicting things just don't feel right. It doesn't feel like there's something wrong about addiction, and I think we all inherently know that. VTO is addicting, and I think that there's something wrong about VTO. So there's that, of course. The number 2 reason why I hate VTO is just because it's expensive. It costs money to take VTO. I'll mix number 2 and 3. I'll get into 3 in a little bit, but everyone knows this. If you've taken VTO, it is expensive. If you live with your parents, or you don't really need the income, I guess it doesn't really matter that much. But if you're someone who lives on their own, or maybe you pay your own bills, even if you do live with your parents, you still have to pay for your own food and stuff like that, or maybe your own groceries. Even if you are in that situation, then you'll definitely know it is expensive, because either 1, you're just completely losing out on money, or 2, you're covering the VTO with money that you had previously, and that's still costing money. Either way, VTO costs money. For me, if I take VTO, I know I have to set aside like $160 just to cover a shift. So setting aside that much to cover a shift, it's a lot of money. VTO costs a lot of money, unfortunately, and yeah, it sucks. It definitely does suck a lot, because it is expensive. To take VTO is expensive. If you want a free day, if you want to go ahead and just relax and have a day off, it costs money. It costs $160 to not go to work and just lay at home for the day. Or maybe you're still doing productive stuff. I know occasionally when I take VTO, I love to do productive stuff as well. It's just to feel like I'm doing something that day, but it still costs $160 to go do that, or maybe however much you set aside for VTO. But like, either way, it's really expensive. And I'll mix expensive in with number 3 now, and I'll get onto the 3rd reason why I hate VTO. It's just irresponsible, and I have made some very irresponsible decisions. I don't want to go too much into detail, because honestly, it is really embarrassing. But like, last month, January, I took a lot of VTO, and a lot of it I shouldn't have taken. There was a lot of VTO. It got to the point where I was taking VTO that I honestly, if I was being responsible and being realistic, I couldn't afford it. I was starting to take VTO that I couldn't afford. I just didn't want to go to work for some reason. I just wanted to be home, or I wanted to go do other stuff. Or there was even one weekend where I work Wednesday to Saturday. I do say that often, but I work Wednesday to Saturday. And there was one weekend where my cousins were going out. They were going out to drink, and it was a Friday night. Of course, they work regular jobs, regular 5-day shifts, so you know, the Monday to Friday, the usual American work schedule. They were working those jobs, of course, and I work Saturdays, and they went out on a Friday night. It was one of my cousins who never ever goes out. He invited everyone out, and he never goes out. Like this, I talked about this on my live stream, but that cousin never goes out. That was his second time going out. He's like 27 years old, and that was like his second time going out since he turned 21. And yeah, because of that, I was like, man, like, they're going out, and specifically him, he's going out. I'm not missing this night out, even though by that point I had already told myself I'm done taking VTO, and it's very irresponsible for me to continue to take VTO. And I basically couldn't afford it, but I did it. I took it, and I went out anyways. And don't get me wrong, it was worth it, because I did have a lot of fun that night. But I just woke up the next morning, and just the next few days after that, I just like checked my bank account, and it was embarrassing, because it was like, you could have had $160 more if you hadn't done this. And I have just made, like, this wasn't a problem for me up until January. I have just been very financially irresponsible when it comes to VTO, and I've been very irresponsible in general. And I think that irresponsibility is disgusting. It is absolutely disgusting. And because I get addicted to VTO very easily, and because I make very financially irresponsible decisions, like, that was just one example in January. There is much more, and it gets a lot worse. Like, a lot worse, trust me. Like I said, I don't want to go too into detail, but I made some horribly financially irresponsible decisions in order to take VTO last year, and I am not proud of it at all. But I'm just being 100% honest with you guys. I'm putting that out there because maybe some of you are in the same situation. Maybe it'll bring some comfort to know that you guys are not the only one who's done it. I hope that I am the only one who's done it, but I can pretty much guarantee I'm not the only one there's more people out there watching this video who can probably relate. They probably made some very irresponsible decisions financially. And yeah, I did definitely do that in January. And like I said, I felt disgusted by it. I hated myself for it. I went through like a week or two period where I was just very angry and frustrated with myself, thinking, why did I do that? Like, why am I so stupid? I would look at my budget. I have an app where I do all my budgeting. I usually do my budgeting at the beginning of the month for the entire month. And I would just look at my budget app and I would just think like, why the hell did you do this, Nathan? You're so stupid. Like, you're actually a dumbass idiot. Like, that's literally what I thought. And I would go into my Discord and just rant and be like, I'm such a fucking idiot, guys. Like, I'm so stupid. And yeah, I don't cuss much on these videos, but that's how bad it was. Like, it got to that point where I was just like, God, I'm stupid. Like, I'm dumb. And yeah, like, I just made so many irresponsible decisions and it wasn't smart. And it got to the point where I could hardly control myself when it came to taking these VTO. But despite the fact that I knew it was addicting, I knew that it was irresponsible, and I knew that it was expensive. And because of that, I changed my mind on it this month, and I was like, okay, you know what? I low-key hate VTO now. Like, I absolutely hate it. Because I can't control myself with it, I hate myself. All right, I don't hate myself. I hate it. Like, I hate VTO. And that's why I made this video, because right now we're in a VTO season where there is obviously a lot of VTO. Most sites are just dumping VTO on us like crazy. And if you take it, like, it depends on your situation. I think for the most part it is dumb to take VTO, but it depends on your situation. I know that there's some very rare situations out there where VTO is pretty justified, but for the most part, like, VTO is just, it's a drug, and it's one of those things where, like, when you realize that you're into something like that, it starts to become if you're smart, it starts to get to the point where you're like, you have to really do some self-reflection and realize, what am I doing? If I could just work my regular work schedule, things would just be so much better and it would make way more sense. So why not go do that? Why not be responsible? Why not start saving my money and all this stuff? And I talked to SB about this as well, because if those who don't know, SB is another Amazon YouTuber. He has around the same subscribers as me, and we did a live stream on his channel and we talked about this as well, where it's just like, he recommends not taking VTO right now because you never know what's going to happen in this economic state. We might lose our jobs. Even blue badge employees, we might lose our jobs. Those in corporate, they are already losing their jobs. And white badge employees, I talked about this on the video on Tuesday, they're already losing their jobs as well. Right now, it's just not the best time to take VTO if you really think that losing your job is, like, not worth the risk. So yeah, I hate VTO at the moment. I'm going through a period where I'm just like, God, I can't stand the sight of VTO. I'm freaking disgusted by it because of admittedly, it was because of my own decisions. I was the one who brought myself to this point, but it was for the better. If it wasn't for that, I wouldn't have gotten to the point where I'm at now, where I'm like, okay, I need to start saving my money again. I need to start, collecting checks and just making the money, making the bag, So it did bring me back to this point, so maybe it was worth it, but yeah, with that being said, I think that's pretty much all I have to say about this topic. If you haven't already, go ahead and check out my new video on my other channel. I just released it on Thursday, so 2 days ago, I released a video on my other channel, kind of going into detail about where I was on my absence. I talked about some drug use. I talked about my depression that I went through. I talked about my happiness. I talked about some of the things that I did while I was gone outside of YouTube. I talked about a lot of stuff. So if you haven't already checked that out, go ahead and check out my Nathan Padilla channel. It came out 2 days ago. It is a long video. It's 53 minutes, but I promise you, if you're interested in my lifestyle, if you're interested in me as a content creator and not necessarily just my Amazon videos, you should definitely go check it out. It's definitely worth the 53-minute watch, in my opinion. And yeah, also, if you're into professional wrestling, I'm not going to promote this channel that much, but I do have a YouTube channel where I do talk about professional wrestling. I review Monday Night Raw, AEW Dynamite, and Friday Night SmackDown, and I do pay-per-view, watch-alongs, and reviews. If you want to go ahead and check that out as well, go ahead and check it out on the other channel, Pro Wrestling Discussion. I'll leave the link somewhere in the description down below. But yeah, I'm not going to promote that channel too much because it is a very strong niche. It is a very specific thing that I know a lot of you won't be interested in, but I do have that channel and I do upload on there 3 days or more a week. So go ahead and check that out as well. But yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next video. If you did enjoy it, leave a like. Comment down below what you think of VTO. Comment down below your opinions and everything that you think about it. And did you make any like irresponsible decisions like I did? Just let me know. And I'll catch you guys in the next video. I love you all. Peace.